Welcome to the Dragon's Tome for a very special episode. My name's Rob,
And I'm Jack.
Chopper.
and we're here to discuss Dragon Magazine, episode 157 from May 1990. As I say, a very special episode. I don't know if you tell by the cover what this episode's about. It's kind of blazing on there. But it is a Buck Rogers-a-thon. Buck
Welcome
Fighting.
to the 25th century, it says.
fighting a bunch of people. If that is
Are
indeed
these
him.
Martians?
Could be.
Are these Martians or are these mutants?
Who knows?
Tell you what, this guy doesn't look like Gil Gerard.
Well, we'll get into that. But
I thought the aliens on Barsoom had four arms.
yeah, pretty much. John Carter. This is by Jerry Bingham. Bingham. I assume he probably did the cover to the actual Buck Rogers book
Role-playing
because it's
game.
very similar, if not the
Well,
same.
I think this is. I think
I was
this
gonna
is
say,
the picture.
Yeah, so I was wondering if they just used that cover. And this may or may not just be a giant ad for Buck Rogers because Lorraine Williams needed some cash. Yeah.
They put a lot of eggs in a basket, and they got to sell those eggs.
Yeah,
was
this
interesting.
is. You can tell this is where they're starting to scramble.
Yeah, it's what's that noise in the distance? Oh, that's the end coming.
Yeah.
But they make the best out of it. So nothing to say about this giant. The cover's cool, but it's like I say, I think it is. If not the cover to the actual book, it's an alternate cover to that actual book that they never used because it's not made for this issue. Because this issue is just thrown together by these guys. So we'll get right into it. Who wants to start this shit show? I have actually three articles, so there's a lot to talk about here. But
I have three too, but I went around.
we'll go with Jack first because he has one maybe.
I have the prerequisite two.
Okay.
And that is
saying
by
something.
law what I'm required to do to get my paycheck. So,
Yep.
okay. So, am I going first?
Yes, you are going first because we don't want to steal your thunder.
Please and thank you. If we could go to page 60 in the PDF.
60?
Please. Thank you. 60.
Oh, the Dungeon Alone. Yep. One-on-one role-playing.
The
Yeah, this
Dungeon
was-
Alone by
This one.
Tom Little. And
Tom Little, isn't he Voldemort?
No, that's
Tom
Stuart
Riddle.
Not-
Little.
not-
the
not-
mouse that gets adopted.
Not in 1990. He's not.
Well, she probably stole this too. So
Ooh.
she's gonna sue somebody.
Somebody. Yes. Okay. Well, this is, hey, if you don't have that many players, sometimes you can't get together. Sometimes that's just the way it is. How to run an adventure that is for one dungeon master and one player. There's the whys. Then it gets into kind of the problems where the limited player base would lead to problems with, like if you get incapacitated, you're dead. There's no one.
No one's
Somebody
coming
save
for
you,
you.
yeah.
No
Yeah.
one's coming for you.
The fact that people are good at brainstorming as a group, and this person would, even as a group, you get into situations where you're like, oh, this puzzle we don't understand, or what should we do? One person, it could get far more difficult. So they're saying how to be subtle with hints and how to kind of lubricate that scenario. And honestly, how to design a dungeon that works with someone who could go back and forth, retreat when you needed to, go get healed up and come back and make it feel like it's something that they're actually, progressing on, even with this kind of stunted way of playing the adventure. And as it's, we've all had small gaming groups. I don't know if, a two-person is that much different than a one-person player situation. And as far as I'm concerned, this would be the best way to teach someone how to play an adventure. Focus in on them. There's not other people telling them how to run their character. There's not anyone else.
Yes.
They're not learning the bad habits of
There's
someone stacking dice up on the
no
table.
backseat carrying, and there's no
I feel seen.
out of character discussions.
Yes, and they can get a handle on the back and forth, the way things can and get comfortable with, and then they join a group, they would be able to oh, this is something I know and whatever. So yeah, it was very interesting to me.
Yeah, they're still dealing with these kind of issues with one-to-one games because Robin D. Laws, famous game designer, just came out with Gumshoe one-to-one, which is trying to deal with the same issues. How do you play a game with just one person and keep it interesting and keep it how you can I think the major issue, don't put any puzzles because one person cannot solve a puzzle. I don't care because it takes groupthink to figure out what the DM's thinking, and half the time that still doesn't work and you just have to bash your way through it because puzzles suck. And
yeah, sometimes having more people is even worse.
Yeah. But I do love it when you guys, I played a few times where I was GM and you guys had the answer and then you talked yourself out of the answer. I love that. You're like, this is it, but well, maybe it isn't this.
It goes, can't be that, but it's got to be this.
Yeah, so close.
So close.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's a really useful article. I love the useful articles where it's like, oh, this actually solves an issue that could have, and this is good. Yeah. Fun. Patrick, what is your first article then?
My first article will be, let's go to page 24.
24.
For the greater good.
Oh, that's a Star Wars one. Is this
the
first Star Wars article we've ever seen in this magazine?
I think so. This is one of the reasons I grabbed it. These are new force powers for the West End Games Jedi. They're nice alternative powers if you are playing what I wrote in my notes as quote-unquote a paladin Jedi. Good through and through, basically. So these are ways to alter your damage if you sense like you're going to kill someone with your lightsaber strike and I feel bad for that Stroper. He's just a dupe. So I'm going to alter my damage not
Nobody's
to kill
gonna
him.
Nobody's going to save a Stormtrooper.
Well, this is the example in the alter damage thing. And then it brings, so like, in the Star Wars movie, how they can always sense a Jedi. There's a disturbance in the Force. He brings that power. He brings that to life in this thing. Because I don't remember, and I'll be honest with you, I don't remember if that was a thing or that was a DM, the GM handout. Like, you feel a disturbance of the Force.
Oh, in the game, if it's it's just something built into the system. The
GM handed out to you to let you know that something was going on. So
instead,
it's been a long time since I played the West End Games one, so I don't remember if that was a thing or not.
I'm pretty sure the only time I ever played it, there were no Jedi, because that's the way you should play these games.
Well, yeah, you should play Jedi in the West End Game ones because it's pretty.
Jedis are too powerful.
Exactly, and but that, of course, that's us, and most people would rather play Jedi. So, but if you want to be a goody two-shoe Jedi and not walk the gray lines like most of the Jedis in the Star Wars movies, these are some alternate powers for you.
Well, that's fun. It's a nice short one, and Carl Sargent, you're trying to add a little bit different to the magazine at least, and thank you for your work. And I like how the picture's a Jedi just lopping things off of a poor guy.
I think, I mean, when I was looking at that, I was thinking, oh, so he's not really trying to alter the damage. He's just cutting the head off in this one. Yeah, we're going to put that.
He cut his helmet off. I think his head still attached. I think he just cut the
helmet. Was that the helmet? I thought it was a second head.
No, I think it was just the helmet got knocked off.
All right, so then he did alter the damage. Okay.
How come the bug guy had a lightsaber too, though? That's my question.
Maybe he was a Sith Jedi, a Sith Lord.
Steven Schwartz, if you're out there, explain yourself.
Yeah.
There can only be two. Back to me. Let's go to let's do the editorial, since I do that. We're gonna go on page 58, editorial. This one's kind of funny because Roger E. Moore must have not liked the fact that he took demons and stuff out of second edition, because this article is pretty much him saying this is why you should have demons in second edition. But yeah, he does say that people are freaking out and comparing removing demons in second edition to Nazi censorship, and I said, oh, things have not changed.
I will say that I do believe that they become an extra planner.
Oh, they're still in there, just got different names.
No,
yeah.
I mean, don't they get their own Monsters Compendium though? Extra planner entities.
They just don't call them demons and devils anymore. They're just extra planar entities.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he knows why they're removed, but
Yeah.
then he also says, I can understand why you liked them. And he goes through and says what the things that he liked about them and what they could do, as of kind of like, hey guys, we're all on the same page here, but it is what it is.
Yeah, because they did explain before they removed them to make the mothers happy and kind of make it more PC and throw it in Walmarts and stuff. If there was Walmarts at the time, I'm not sure. Yeah, he says the reason demons are good is easily identifiable, total evil, come in all shapes and sizes, powerful, good for big bads, lots of loot.
Outer Planes is the Monstrous Companion.
Yeah, and it opens new planes to adventure. And it's a good counterpoint to righteousness, exciting, and a sense of accomplishment beating them. And it's all good points. But you could, like he says, you could also compare that to most monsters in the Monsters Companion to fill up a lot of these spots anyways. But
yeah.
I'd
have to go
what's
back
the point of
and
a
look at the
paladin
Monsters.
if you can't go kill some demons? So that's my question.
So they weren't in the Monstrous Companion.
No.
I remember that. Maybe they had all along planned out. We'll just give them their own.
Just let it cool
Companion.
down, and then we'll bring them back later. Yeah.
Because it's not.
But they still don't call them demons and devils. They call them other things. So, but they bring the realms back, I guess. So, anyways, that's a nice quick one. 10 good things about demons. Because he writes it real small because he doesn't want people to see it. Back to Jacques Plante. What do you got?
So I'm going to invent the hockey goalie mask, and
Thank you. Yeah, well,
we're
you
gonna
gotta
go
fix that
pee.
mug.
Yes.
All the scarring, and you look like a
This-
baseball mitt.
my face is pretty scarred up, actually. If we're really talking about that.
You should have invented the hockey mask earlier.
I'm a goddamn mess. Okay. Me being a big dumb farm animal aside, can we go to page 82, please?
82. Through the Looking Glass.
A Shrek-like creature. Through the Looking Glass. Now, this is Robert Bigelow. He's got his he's been doing Through the Looking Glass for a while. So the start of the article, which we're not going to really focus on too much, is a couple questions like, why don't you tell me which stores you can go to, and we have the manufacturers, I want to buy this certain one. He kind of answers some questions that I could see people having at the time. But we're going to scroll down to the second page where we have the actual miniatures. Now, this is how I think all miniatures should be in almost every ad. They are obviously primed black, and then with it's not even a zenithal highlight. It's
a black wash. It looks like to me. It looks like they're white with a black wash. Maybe.
White with a black wash, or black with a white
dry brush,
heavy dry brush.
Yeah. One of the two.
You can see all the details.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like some game companies. They're famous, like the heavy metal, where it is a professional that spends 14 hours on one miniature, and they go, well, when you buy this is what it's going to look like. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, this
Stop
is
it.
exactly how they're going to look. Like
you drew in freehand all that pattern. That's not detail that's there. Like, stop it. You're lying.
Yeah.
And conversely, you see other ads for companies, and they have an in-house painter who, does like a what would be considered a good paint job, and you look and go, okay, my hypocrisy knows no bounds. I would like to see that done better. Or
it ruins the details, or something. Like you can't really see what's going on because the paint job's not great.
Yeah, like it's like, okay, so you're never happy until you see this. Look at that Umber Hulk. You can see every little nook and cranny.
Look at that cute little Umber Hulk.
The snake with the wings.
It's a quaddle
with the fur.
Say his name, Jack. It's a quaddle.
Okay, the
Sorry.
epiglottis, and then you come down here. You got the sci-fi ones. You've got
That's those are Shadowrun ones, and I do mention they're 25 millimeters in here too. And I knew they were smaller.
Yeah,
It's strangely
they're
small.
tiny.
The Shadowrun miniatures.
that you might as well use them for an epic style 15 millimeter
Yeah.
game. They are. I had some. They are minute.
Yeah,
like,
they're weird
minuscule.
looking how small they are. Yeah.
So yes, I think this. When I saw this, I was like, yes. Why isn't this the norm? Why isn't this the standard?
Mhm.
I want to purchase something. I want to see what details there, what's not.
Yep.
But I don't want to be wooed by what was essentially paint porn from like a White Dwarf magazine, where you open it up and it's like,
Yeah, like that's like Angel Heraldez nowadays with his Infinity models. You see what he does, and you're like, oh my god, that's the most amazing thing ever. I want that miniature. And you buy it, and you're like, oh, this is a crappy metal miniature.
Infinity models, you buy them and it's
million
like
pieces?
a bag of dust.
Yeah.
You sprinkle out, like it's one little robot guy.
It's not as bad as Malifaux. Come on, you can't go that far. Malifaux
Okay, yes.
faces are separate than the bodies. Like, come on, Malifaux, come on. You could tell we're
So-
miniature guys.
And you look and go, there's nothing here, and then you look in the ad,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There is definitely a bait and switch going on for some companies where it looks so good that you're like, oh, that miniature must be amazing, and it's like, oh no, it's not. It's such a good paint job.
much like when you look at the ad for Burger King and you see the burger on the thing, and then you
Yeah.
open up the container and you look and go, ugh.
Yeah.
We all know that the miniature that the in-house painter or the painter that they've commissioned is a one-off resin from a
that
fresh
too.
mold.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You're getting the 300,000th
Yeah,
metal
copy of
from
it.
their mold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same.
There's flash
Right?
everywhere. There's half the details ruined by the flash, and yeah.
There's a big bubble in it. Yeah. We're not stupid. Apparently, it's not illegal to do that. We all have a
For
certain
some reason, it's not
expectation.
legal to do that. Yeah,
For some
Yeah.
reason,
it's because it's
I
not a
looked
big
up
enough big enough sector for the like politicians to go after and be like, this is false advertising, but it is
Yeah,
pretty much false advertising.
I like the look of that sub. That's what I want. You get it, and you're like, okay.
Although that's in fast food. Didn't McDonald's recently get sued for that? That they have to change what their Big Mac looks like in their ads because it didn't reflect it.
Supreme Court threw it out. Said
Oh,
everyone, everyone
Corporate-
knows they're lying.
Corporate, yeah. Welcome to late stage capitalism.
The ruling was everyone knows.
The ruling was
that they're lying.
yeah. We wonder how much trouble you got. They're counting their
we all
money
know.
from McDonald's.
We all know what's happening with some of those Supreme Court guys right now with their friends who happen to give them every
Yeah.
vacation they've ever wanted. But
Anyways.
anyways,
Yes, great miniature article.
yeah, great miniature article. We got the Clarence Thomas very quickly out of a number hole, but
Well, who is it now? It's Pat. Pat, what do we got?
Let's see. We're gonna go to page 50.
50.
Ecology of the
Wemmick.
Lion men or lion centaurs, if you need to describe them.
Lying men or lying men, right? Am I right, ladies?
Got it right, ladies. All two of you.
I'm on your
listening
side.
to our show.
Rob's a feminist.
Hey, I don't like how you said that, implying that I wasn't.
I don't know what it
now,
is.
now my what was my followers called again? Robbers.
The Rob Rubbers.
Rob
Yeah.
Rubbers.
Now they're all gonna think I hate them. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been up with these last 3 books, but this is another form of tribal creature that are all hunters. Also,
It's a nice trope to go to, I guess. Let's make
I guess
everything
So,
just tribal.
I mean, these things are basically lion centaurs, for lack of a better word. And, they form prides with like a couple of males and then a crap ton of females. Surprisingly enough, they're carnivores. But unsurprisingly enough is that they can cook and preserve meat.
Yeah.
And they are very emotional creatures that never lie and always keep a vow.
That doesn't sound like a cat to me.
No.
It's quite the opposite.
Yeah. I think it's trying to play on the prideful lion kind of a thing.
I see.
Yeah. But other than that, they're just pretty much lions with human torsos attached to them. So four claws and then two arms. One of the things I thought was pretty cool though is that they have a roar that causes fear and it kind of can knock you out for a little bit.
If you ever heard a lion's roar, that is true. It is freaky.
Well, if you ever heard a lion's roar, you've not heard a lion's roar. Factually, they don't use much like the eagle, the bald eagle screech you hear. That's actually a hawk. The lion's roar you hear isn't a lion. Never has been.
Wow, Jack, what have you taught us today? It's all been a lie.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Hey, whatever, flat earther. Let's move on then.
Wow.
Well, that went somewhere fast. My question is, how do these guys wear pants?
They don't.
It's funny that I was just going to say, can we just address one thing that they did address here that I think centaurs have been questioned about many times. They say in the bodies where the lungs are, where the hearts are, like they separate. They say, well, obviously your brain would be here, but then all the other organs except for these ones are down here, and they
actually tried to explain where all the parts are.
They're getting ahead of the questions of where you would put a necktie on a giraffe.
It's true. Those are always the questions I have to ask.
It's true.
Well, there you go. Lion centaurs.
Yeah,
lion men. What are they called? Wemmicks.
Wemmicks, yeah. I mean,
never heard of them.
Pretty cool. I mean, they're obviously lawful creatures.
I was going to say, what's their alignment? Yeah, it makes sense.
It doesn't say, but they have to. If you always keep a vow, and you never lie, you got to be a lawful
good.
Lawful. Not necessarily good or evil. I mean,
yeah, I think lawful evil people lie.
Yeah, I would guess so too, but you never know. There'd be some argument that they don't always have to lie, but they don't have to give you the full truth, kind of a thing.
That's true. I'm going to bite the bullet, guys. You guys have been avoiding this. Let's go for it. We're going to page 12.
Oh, I've avoided it very handily, I thought.
You guys avoided all the Buck Rogers stories so far.
But this is written by your buddy Kim, that's why.
Kim Mohan, yeah. It's a returning star of the show, Kim Mohan. This is just a little backstory to this Buck Rogers. Very, very different from the TV show. It's not even close. Like, I'm amazed that they can even say that the TV show is Buck Rogers. The only similarity is that a guy from the past is in the future. That's it.
Which came first, the books or
no, this is all based on the old serials from like the 30s. So that's the rights they own. So
is that the Buster Crab one?
Yeah, I think that's what they own the serials. I think that's where it started in the serials, and that's where the Williams slash what's his name? I can't remember their actual last name. That's her married name. I can't remember their actual last name. They own the rights to is those serials from actually I think I didn't start as TV serials. It was serials in newspapers.
Newspapers, yeah, like a comic where you would
every week was 3 panels or every day was 3 panels or whatever. Anyways,
there'd be Superman or some other thing, and
he was in there, but very different TV show. Lots of political intrigue, it seems. There's genetically engineered people, arcologies, and mega corporations, so it's very cyberpunk too. So there you go. The game has ship-to-ship battles, and it's based on AD&D, which I thought was interesting. And it actually sounds kind of fun, frankly. It's Buck was frozen. He was a hero from some nuclear war, and they froze him, and now he's back because they need him to kind of lead the people again against this evil mega corporation. So it's kind of what the story's about. Very, very different from... I don't even know if this is similar to the actual back in the day. I doubt it, because it has a lot of modern things in it. So I'm sure the original serials was just, hey, this is Buck Rogers. Very John Carter, Warlord of Mars, like Jack said, which was even earlier. So I think it's... I think it was earlier. I wonder which came first. But yeah, it's interesting. I think it sounds fun. And if it's based on AD&D, at least you know what the system is. It's not some screwed up system.
Some games, the barrier to entry is like the mechanics. Do I want to learn the whole thing? How am I going to teach everyone? I have to read the book. I hate reading rules to learn a game. So if someone's not teaching me, it's not getting played. But if someone went, well, it's AD&D, I'd go,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's try Buck Rogers in the future. I assume you're not playing Buck. I'm assuming you're playing other people in his orbit. He's kind of like the paragon that everybody lead, and you're just a rebel. I assume.
Yeah.
I would
I
play
think
Tweak.
Yes, play Tweaky. I play Aaron Gray. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
There is another.
I Dr. Her for Theopolis.
Yeah. There is another article that talks more about Buck Rogers and stuff. But
here's the character classes: Rocket Jock, Rogue, Warrior, Scout, Medic, or Engineer.
There you go. The classic sci-fi character classes. I think like that is the same in Starfinder. I think it's like that.
I'm gonna assume that the Rocket Jock is the pilot.
Yeah, that they say. I think they do say that piloting is very important in this game because you're flying around a lot. It also is all based in our solar system, which I thought was weird too. It's not. I think Buck Rogers is like the TV show was not on Earth or anything, was it? Or
yeah, the Gil Gerard one was,
but it wasn't just they went to other worlds and stuff because there's Falcon Men. Shit. So this isn't like that. They're like
the Falcon Men came the second season.
I know, but generally there's aliens. The only aliens in this are those genetically engineered humans. I don't think there's any actual aliens in this game. So, yeah. Interesting. If it weren't such a cash grab, I would say, oh, that's an interesting article. But it is obviously just a large ad for trying to sell this game. That once again they probably have a warehouse full of them. They're just like, how do we get rid of these?
We know at one point they were releasing like 4 books, like 4 like novels, and so there's a whole thing going on. And maybe given enough time, it looked like they could have done something. It could have turned into something, but we know,
yeah, it's
doesn't get its time in the sun.
I think it's too late. Like, if this had come out in like 1982, it would be like, oh, this is cool, it's sci-fi. But now,
or if they put it out during, like when they were getting ready to do a second edition, Top Secret. You could have stuck it in there with the Boot Hills and the Top Secrets.
But yeah, in this world where we have Cyberpunk and Shadowrun, I think it's too late. I think it missed its calling. This is classic old school sci-fi, which was not very popular at this point. Everybody wanted the edgy, dark sci-fi, which it seems like it tries to be a little edgier and dark, but you automatically think, everybody thinks Buck Rogers, you think that TV show, no matter what. And that TV show was pretty slick and pretty everybody wearing spandex, and I think that is a detriment to this game. It's you think Gil Gerard, not.
Or conversely, like if you're not thinking that and you're thinking Buck Rogers, if you're thinking of this serial, they have these weird helmets with the jetpacks that look really retro 50s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It would be hard to then add a third vision, like of that.
You already have a vision of it. Yeah, that's right.
There's already 2 that you probably have as a reference.
You're not thinking gritty, cyberpunk-like future. You're thinking fun retro sci-fi. Yeah. Anybody else have any more articles? Jack is done, I'm sure. Pat, you got more?
One more.
Oh, I got lots more, so let's go.
Page 66.
66. Evening Star.
Evening Star. This is a city in the Forgotten Realms settings that was basically cut from the Adventures book to make the book be a certain amount of pages. And so most of it was cut from the book itself, according to this article, the editor's introduction. So Ed and Jeff Grubb both said, well, what are we going to do with this city we created? They said, well, let's just give it to Dragon Magazine. And here it is in the Dragon Magazine that you can add to your Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That it's like, well, we're not throwing it out. Let's just put it out there. And it's cool.
So it expands on the city in Cormier. And if you're Forgotten Place, this is a nice little snippet that you can use for your campaign. Well, it says it was trimmed down a little bit to fit the book. The amount of information that's here almost seems like the whole city was cut from the book.
In common, like in today's parlance, this would be a DLC. Like it didn't make it to the full game, but they want something else. They're giving it away. They're not selling it, but there's enough there. They're like, well, here you go, and you could plug. It's a city. You can plug this into whatever campaign you had.
Yep.
Might as well get some use out of it.
So I thought that was really cool when I read that. I was like, oh, that's a good way to. You did a lot of hard work with Forgotten Realms, Ed. and Jeff, a good longtime listener, longtime friend, Ed, Dr. Greenwood. And it's hard to kind of just let these. I'm sure it's the same with movie directors. It's hard to kind of let go
Yeah,
of
that's why
your
you get
hard work.
director's cuts. Yeah,
Yeah. So this is
or
a nice
special feature.
way,
It's a special
and
feature.
it's yeah, and it's very cool that they have this outlet where they can say, well, we can't put
Yeah.
it in the book, so let's just put it in the magazine.
Nowadays, I know Art Talasorian for Cyberpunk does like this kind of thing all the time. They just put stuff on their website, which it's just extra stuff from just random stuff. They're like, oh, this doesn't really fit in a book, but let's throw it out there. So like they have a whole system for playing like a kind of a World of Warcraft in Cyberpunk. Like they have a whole system
Yeah,
for this world in Cyberpunk, and it's like they just threw it out there on the website and like, here you go. So it's
yeah.
nowadays. I'm sure Wizard Coast probably does this on their website too. Has this kind of stuff. So it's a lot easier now. You don't need a magazine to do it.
No, 100%. So,
But
but
makes it
there you
feel more
go.
special when it's in paper, though.
I feel so also. So
We're gonna go to page 73 now for my last article. My itchy ear. My ear itches. What's that mean? Does it mean somebody's talking about me?
it's fantastic art.
Someone's walking over your grave.
Ooh, thank God. It needs a little stamping down. Yeah, this is nothing to do with Fantastic Four necessarily. It's just an interesting article how to keep superhero campaigns interesting because you don't gain levels in Marvel superheroes, and it probably can apply to most games that you don't gain levels in. So why would you keep coming back? The easy answer is make a good story and people want to come back, but let's just write a long article about it instead. Yeah, so it goes into creating interesting goals and backstories for your characters and creative NPCs that characters want to interact with or want hate, so they always come back to and that kind of stuff. This is by Carlton Sue, I assume how you say his last name. They also say you can create mysteries and suspense, which helps with the interaction. If there's a mystery, you kind of always want to come back. Oh, I want to solve this mystery. And they also say you can add romance, which I thought was a little creepy because most times you're playing with other guys, and no, romance is not appropriate. I guess you can do PG romance.
People can handle all kinds of. It's not out of the realm of possibility to
Yeah.
have an NPC that, especially with it's established in the comic books. You
Oh
know,
yeah, that's
I'm
different. Yeah.
I'm not saying that Rick and Bruce Banner need to
Yeah.
be shipped, but like
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I like. Keep it. Nice guys.
keep those purple pants on, Bruce.
They also say in Marvel Superheroes it's really, really hard to die because you have a lot of saves and you also have karma points that you can put in. You can throw all your karma points in to make sure you succeed. So it's really hard to die. So they said, well, maybe make it a little easier to die and have death as their actual chance because then the stakes are higher. And lastly, he goes over some plot points to use to try to implement it all into the game. And I think in general, it's a nice article to spice up your superhero campaign, so you're not just doing a punch up every week. Add a little bit more story to it, and yeah, fun little superhero article. Is that it for everyone? No more articles?
I think so.
I'm done.
I got quite a few ads, strangely, in this one, so
I only got a couple.
Jesus.
I got 4. I'm sure at least 2 of these are taken by somebody else, though. So
Yeah, mine are all just like hit pieces.
Jack, what is your first ad?
Before we go there, everyone, we should timestamp it so that there's no I don't know, triggered people. There's no because epilepsy is an issue when we go to this ad. So everyone just
Uh-oh. I don't have a static page because epilepsy, but let's see.
we're going to page 9.
Yeah, this is the same one. I said exactly the same thing that Jake was saying.
Jeez, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
I said this thing gave me vertigo.
You know what
just
this
looking
is?
at it.
Speaking of Vertigo, that's exactly what this is influenced by. Vertigo is a huge thing right now in DC at the time, and this is exactly what they're going for in this article.
It's got the logo for Vertigo, everything like that on it. Yeah, who okayed this?
I think it's one of those things where it's so wrong that this is eye-catching. It's so wrong. Like
You think so?
even where the black bits are, sometimes they cover up the whole word, sometimes they don't. Like the one that's upside down, it says this what is that? I don't even know what that word is. Oh, it's Justice League. It comes around the corner. That makes no sense. I thought it said Stice League. I'm like, those fucking Stice League. Justice League International, but only the UE and League is black, and like, what the fuck's going on? And Vixen and Watchmen are both blacked out for some reason, and
I'm
yeah.
a fan of a lot of the fact that DC has a huge, menagerie of people, but there's some here that you'd like to see, like Rob's favorite Bizarro World Superman, and
Bizarro.
But there's Big Barda. Yeah, she's not for everyone's for taste, but put her up there. But then you put Batman. Put Batman up there. There's the Owl. Okay, yeah. Blue Beetle. You don't need this nonsense with it spinning around like this.
It is weird. It is a weird choice, and sometimes words are one way and then they're the other, which makes no sense either.
Like, 90-degree angled.
Yeah.
They're twisted.
Weird.
There's blank spots.
Yeah. It really is made to just be so annoying that you're like, oh, what is this? It's the DC superheroes experience the legend, sort of, if you can read that. It's so weird. It's who okayed this? Mayfair Games, who okayed this?
So you've come around.
I think it's a choice. I don't think it's a good choice. That's all I'm saying. It's so weird.
Throw Jonah Hex on there. Everyone,
he is.
Okay, yeah,
he's on the side there.
You don't need this.
Is he down there? Where's he at?
He's on the left-hand side at the near the bottom, right by Legend. If you just go right of Legend.
Okay, yeah, okay, I see him now.
But yeah, weird. But yeah, and then they have the little cutouts, standees, kind of that all these superheroes games had. It's very similar to Marvel superheroes had the standees.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, weird choice.
Experience the legend, all right.
Yeah,
I'm
experience
experiencing
this
nausea.
Yeah, that's right. Pat, what is your first ad?
Let's go to page 29.
Wow, nobody's taken any of mine yet. Oh, it's a big dragon.
Yeah, big dreams come in small packages. Ral Partha. I feel like the Ral Partha ads have gone downhill.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if they're going downhill too. I wonder when Ral Partha goes out of business.
Because we don't even have a miniature on this ad.
It's a nice dragon, though.
So I was like, what is going on? Ral Partha is just now doing cartoons for their ads now. This is, I don't know, do we call it like a downslide a little bit in the gaming sense? Because miniature figures aren't doing that great, it doesn't look like.
I will say this is just an ad for you to get their catalog. So it's not an ad for a miniature line, so I can see
maybe.
But you're right. They have miniature lines for games that are just hitting, like that are hot.
Well, I mean, and their old catalog ads had pictures and the codes.
It's a strange choice. Some ad person there was like, let's just put a big dragon on here. Not even a dragon we sell. Let's just have a picture of a dragon. Yeah. They could have had one of their dragons there instead.
And the Ral Partha is so tiny on the bottom.
Yeah, weird. Ral Partha eventually gets sold to FASA, which I didn't know, which eventually gets sold to WizKids. So Ral Partha becomes WizKids, and then Iron Wind Metals takes over the Ral Partha actual miniatures. So
yeah,
but that's not until 1998. I remember when
FASA bought. Yeah, I remember when FASA bought.
And that must have been just before FASA went under, so it's so crazy.
Yeah, because it wasn't that long.
No.
Ral Partha destroying everything they touch.
Yeah, it seems like it. They're a virus. My first one's going to be on page 70. It's a little one. It's in the Gamer's Guide. It's that very first one, the dice board. Is this the first dice tray? The way they're talking about it, I'm like, there's got to be dice trays before here. It's like, finally, when the gamer has been waiting for it, the perfect place to throw their dice, the dice board. Mm. Like, come on, there's got to be dice trays before now, right? This isn't some new invention in 1990.
maybe they were homemade. Like, here's a shoebox cover.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is this the first? And it's felt covered surface with to prevent noise, and it's exactly what a dice tray is. But it's just so weird, right? That they're selling it like it's never happened before. Am I the only one blown away by the fact that dice trays didn't exist in 1990?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to think.
Look how expensive it is too.
Well, I mean, you can either
One
get it
oak
in polished acrylic or you can get one in oak.
or plastic. So like
But
there's
still,
a difference.
$20. That's expensive. You can buy dice trays for like $5 now.
I,
It's weird, right?
it is weird because
It is weird.
every time I'm thinking, well, no, because you roll dice on felt all the time. They're like, well, no, that's on a gambling table. That's on
Yeah.
a thing. Did someone just go, I'll just shrink that table down, and my coffee table's not going to have all
Yeah.
these dings
I hate
from
when all my dice get rolled and knocked over my miniatures. Like there's dice
maybe
towers before this, right? We saw dice towers.
we've seen dice
So
towers.
it's just it seems like the wrong order of how things should come out. If you had a dice tray before this and these guys are just selling it like pretending it's a brand new idea, let me know because I'm just so confused.
That word finally is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Is doing a lot of like implication that this was new. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Even look at the face of the skeleton below it. He's like, oh my God, finally. You're right.
That's old Festus. What are you talking about?
Well, Festus is like, why didn't I think of that?
Time
Tell us
drifters.
to stop the dead in the noise of dice.
Yeah. I do love looking through the Gamer's Guide because there's some bad stuff in here.
It's true.
I
Jack,
do too. And I until you had pointed out that perhaps that they were implying that they were the first, like this was a stunning breakthrough in dice technology. Until you put that in my mind, I was like, yeah, it's a dice tray.
Yeah. What else is new? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the word finally caught my mind. I'm like, what? Finally what? Jack, what's your next ad?
No, I'm done. I did mine.
You just did one? I
That's
thought
all
we
we
do
do. That's
5
by
ads
law,
each.
that
I
is-
thought that's what it is. Pat, you have another one?
I do, and this is my last one in honor of Jack.
Oh,
116.
Yeah, this was one of mine.
All the rest of the settings of Monsters Compendiums.
The new one's coming out. The Dragonlance, Greyhawk, and Karatur. I'm pretty sure I had Karatur.
I had
I
the
got-
other two.
I got a character right here.
Character.
That's 4.
I can't find my compendium. I know I still have it.
Pat, all you are is just you've made yourself invisible. It's very good.
I'm
You're-
trying to get in there.
Dust in the wind.
Here's a noble genie.
Oh, there you
That
go.
worked. Look at that.
Your noble genie worked. Yes, I didn't realize they came out with these so quick. Like they're just pumping these things out. So
Yeah, they came up. They're fairly quickly.
They already have the
Mhm.
the creatures in various. All they have to do is put them into
reformat
the
them,
new
put them in the
format.
thing.
Yeah. So it's not. I can understand how they'd be able to
it's
do
an
it,
easy product for them to pump out. Yeah.
and there is the incentive to do it because you want to have like that
People
big
and
binders.
people want
Peop-
it. Yeah, they want. It's a
people wanna
collector
fill 'em
mentality,
in.
right? Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, interesting. My next, I have so many ads. I can't believe you guys are done. We're gonna go page 78. This is more splat books for AD&D. We got catacombs and castle guides. So there's more of these. Once again, things getting pumped out. These splat books. There was so many of them. And
Yeah.
they're putting these.
I-
These are the DM
I don't-
ones.
I don't even think I even bought these ones.
I always
didn't
had the
know they
players
existed.
one. I never had the. Did I have castles? I know it had arms and armor. I had that one for sure, the blue one. I'm not sure if I had castles. I definitely didn't. I don't think I ever saw catacombs. But it's
I wonder, like in my mind when I saw that ad, I was like, "Oh, those are those brown books." But you're right; they didn't. These probably were in blue.
They were blue.
yeah. I think the DM ones were always blue. Yeah,
The players were like that burgundy color.
My mind's eye filled in that color just
yeah. Because you're used to them being that brownish burgundy color. Yeah.
because I've got.
And then there was green ones. The historical ones were
those.
green ones. Yeah.
But you're
But yeah,
right, they're probably blue.
well, so there you go. Some more books. And another ad I have is on page 94. This is Rapham is a famous miniature company, but they're just making at this point they're only making they're Canadian, by the way. They're making fake Space
Starcon.
Marines. These are definitely just Space Marines, aren't they?
Starcon. They're definitely Mark II armor.
They've been around like from some of the first Dragon magazines we started the show.
Yeah.
They've had ads in there. like not consistently, but on and off. And
Yeah.
yeah,
They've been reduced to this.
Yeah, that's definitely a knockoff of the Space Crusader.
Yeah.
Armor.
They eventually do. There was a game called Wrath of Kings that we played later, but they did the original version. I can't remember what it was called, but it was.
Did you play Wrath of Kings?
Well, I backed the Kickstarter back in the day, but
I painted up all the squid guys, and
they're really nice miniatures, but a lot of them are from Ratham. Like the werewolves are Ratham werewolves, and they're amazing. Like eventually Ratham becomes like a big player.
Who made Wrath of Kings? I seem to remember that at Adepticons a couple times, and I can't.
Yeah, it was some fly by night.
Was it Cool Mini? Was it Cool Mini?
No, I don't think so. I think it was.
I can go back there and grab my box right now because I've got a whole.
It's right there, right within touching distance. Sorry.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look at it.
Comment below.
Was it Simon had it? Simon had it.
But Ratham was made these beautiful sculpts back in the day, and they just I don't know at what point in their company they are at this point, but they're in Cambridge, which is not very far from us. It's actually really close to us, so they're not around anymore. They went defunct. And my last ad, because you guys, is that it? Oh, that was my last ad. We already did the Monsters Committee. That was my last ad. So, that was it. We made what was it?
We polished that turd.
We chicken salad or chicken shit. That's what this was.
You haven't heard that study before.
It's definitely could have been a bad Buck Rogers magazine, but there was a lot. Stuff.
The first 4 articles were all Buck Rogers. I'm like, god.
Yeah, the first 20 pages of a 100-page book is Buck Rogers. So we got past it, guys. If you played Buck Rogers, please do comment below. Maybe it is a fun game, and maybe it's a fun setting.
Yeah. Guess we're being a little overly critical.
I'm overly critical just because I know there's the backstory to it. I know why they're doing it, so that's.
Well, I agree.
Otherwise, I'd be like, Buck Rogers fun. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm a little salty, also. But
Dial, Dille. That's her last name.
Yeah.
So it came to me eventually. But if you love this version of Buck Rogers, not Gil Gerard or Buster Crab, please comment below.
Or Buster
If you love those guys. If you love those guys and Buster Rhymes.
Or Mr. Crab.
And Buster Crab was on the Gil Gerard.
Yes,
show.
Really, he was like the old guy. Yeah, that's right. I remember.
Yeah, he was the old veteran bomber pilot.
What a fun show. Sexual awakenings. Anyways.
Well, not gonna lie, Princess Ardala was.
Her too, yeah. Twiggy.
But I think
Tweaky.
Ming the Merciless's daughter, Aurora.
Yeah.
From which one?
From Flash Gordon.
So the Sam West.
Yes.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah. I agree with you, Jack. She was. She did something. It's those silk outfits. I think.
Speaking of which, Timothy Dalton was in that movie too.
He was. He was actually.
Yes, he was. That was a banger. That movie was a banger.
I love the movie. I love that soundtrack. As a child, anytime they'd ask me what they want to play, I would be like, "Play the Flash Gordon soundtrack, motherfucker."
There was an article.
I said that to my parents.
The guy who played the guy that played Voltan.
Yes.
You're talking.
Brian Blessed.
He was saying how he hates that people call it a camp film. He says the thing was a masterpiece.
Oh, he's loves it. Yeah, it is a masterpiece. It's so unique.
And you Star Trek fans, even Patrick Stewart call it a masterpiece.
Did he?
Yeah,
it is a masterpiece. It's all good.
It's a good movie.
Enough of why are we talking about Flash Gordon? We're supposed to be talking about Buck Rogers. What happened here?
Well, we just segue because Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon are very, very
similar.
What's the word? Well, when they're right next to each other, they're very adjacent. Sci-fi adjacent. They're very sci-fi adjacent.
Yeah. Yep. Well, enough being adjacent. Please join us next week for another wonderful edition of Dragon's Tome. Until that time, I've been Rob.
And I'm Jack.
Hi, Jack.
No, it's
Hi,
bye.
Pat.
He's leaving. You're both leaving. Stop saying hi to each other. Do that in your
Rob.
own time.
Bye, Rob.
Bye, guys. God damn.
Bye, listeners.
You can't just
We
play
love you all
rules.
very much.
You all right, Jack?